The Attorney General's office represents the state in that matter. There have been no negotiations that I'm aware of.
Governor Mills says the state of Maine will not sign agreements with the Trump administration to not allow transgender athletes to compete in girls' and women's sports. The U.S. DOE says if Maine does not bar transgender athletes, it will refer the matter to the Department of Justice for enforcement. This as the state of Maine is locked in a lawsuit against the Trump administration's freezing of federal funds when it comes to Title IX enforcement. Our Katie Delaney joins us this morning on how this situation could unfold. Good morning, Katie.
Good morning, Lee. The U.S. Department of Education says the Maine DOE, as well as the Maine Principals Association and Greeley High School, are violating Title IX by allowing transgender athletes to compete in girls' and women's sports. The groups were given an extended deadline to today to comply with the law. Back in March, the MPA and Greeley High School said they are not signing the agreement. They argue banning trans athletes from girls' sports would violate the Maine Human Rights Act. While Governor Mills has spoken out against signing for the state, we haven't gotten any sort of communication from the Maine DOE specifically. I spoke with Kim Pacelli, a Maine attorney who works with Title IX cases. She says while investigations happen, they are usually resolved before they get to litigation. So this situation is unusual. She expects the Justice Department to file a lawsuit and a long legal battle in court revolving around state versus federal rights to follow.
Does the federal executive, the president, have the authority through an executive order to issue an interpretation of federal law that forces a conflict with a statute that's been passed into law by a state legislature?
We haven't received an answer from Maine DOE or the governor's office about how they would navigate litigation and the potential loss of federal education funding. Lee.
All right, Katie Delaney, thank you so much. And the Trump administration is also asking the Maine DOE to respond with what steps it has taken to comply with the Family Educational Rights Privacy Act, or FERPA. The U.S. DOE claims a dozen of Maine's school districts are violating FERPA because of policies that infringe on parents' rights. Federal leaders say the violations include policies which allow schools to create gender plans with students without making those plans available to parents. Federal officials say the plans don't qualify as educational records under FERPA.